What's going on, Blurs, Nerds, and everybody in between? It's your boy Wyatt, the sensei of the syndicate, here with another episode of With the BS. And so for today, we have a special topic and some special guests that come along here with us. We are talking about, because when this comes out, it'll be Father's Day. Last week on Sunday, we actually dropped Good TV Dad. So of course, we got to talk about anime. What we're going to do, we're going to talk about whether or not these dads are good dads, bad dads, whether they should reproduce at all. So it's going to be a fun conversation. So we got a lot of great guests here today. Starting off first, we got the man himself. He is known as Hellspawn cosplay. Also, he can be known as Hesoul, and there's actually really cool story. I'll let you tell you about this. But Hellspawn, how you doing today, bro?
I'm good. I'm thankful that you asked me to be here, and I'm chilling. I'm getting ready for the rest of the summer. It's gonna be a busy one.
Yeah, man. You got to tell them about this for those who don't know, and tell them about Blerd Powerful.
Okay, so the Hesoul thing. The character that's in the front of that entire thing is Hesoul. He's basically an amalgamation of my cosplay as He-Man and Sunman, a character created by Wale Eason back in the 80s, who eventually got brought into the Masters of the Universe canon proper just last year. And so yeah, apparently my cosplay was liked by a lot of people, and it reached to the heights of like Mattel and Dark Horse Comics and DC Comics, and they've, the writers and the artists, they know my face pretty well. There's been a couple of liberties taken with my face with certain characters like Tim Fox, Batman, and some other characters that I thought was crazy, but whatever. And this issue of Masterverse number 4 actually features Hesoul in, I think, maybe 9 or 10 pages in like multiple panels in each one, whereas the first appearance of him in He-Man and the Masters of the Multiverse, which came out, I think, in summer 2021, he was only featured for only like 2 panels, maybe 3. So this was a big surprise to see the He-Force and Hesoul being out in the front on the cover of this book. So, and it being a major publication by Dark Horse Comics, I went ahead and started talking to a local chain comic book store here in Maryland, and they're willing to host a comic book signing on September 30th in Annapolis. So if you're in Annapolis, Maryland, September 30th between 11 and 1 p.m., we'll be at Third Eye Comics, and I'll be in an actual Hesoul cosplay signing these books. So if we're talking about the mission for the proliferation of minorities within mainstream media, which has been my constant mission since 2018, I think I'm doing okay. We're able to see more Black and brown faces in comics and TV and movies, and this apparently is my contribution to the cause. So there's that. Blerd and Powerful is my brand, where I am advocating for 2 things. One, the mental and emotional wellness and health of Blerds, Black nerds, online and just in general spaces. And then the other prong for the brand is for me to advocate for Black-owned comic book conventions.
Well, we're glad to have you back here again. We did a wonderful interview. It was about 3 or 4 months ago, so it was really good to have that. And so we got some other members of the Blerd Syndicate here. We got James here. How you doing, bro?
I'm doing pretty good. Um, sure. I don't know how to follow up with the with that whole thing you just said. Really, truly, I didn't know that there were other Black-owned cons besides the ones that Wyatt interviewed you for. So it's good to know that there's other stuff like that I can go to. So thank you for talking about that.
Mhm.
Um, Me personally, I'm not really doing much right now. I'm just trying to enjoy my day. And I'm glad that Wyatt invited me to come and talk to you guys about bad anime dads. So,
Yeah, of course, man. So we're glad to have you, man. We're gonna have a lot of fun. And so the next person that we have here with us is the young elder Faja of Four. So we had a good conversation about good dads. Some of his selections were kind of questionable. I'm not gonna lie, but you guys can go ahead and see that on on YouTube, and also it's going to be out on Facebook and all other platforms. Uh, young elder, how you doing today, bro?
Brother, I am great. Glad to be here. It's awesome to meet the guest Tailspon today. Man, everything you said was so just inspiring and awesome. Um, I got to start writing, man. That's what I see from what you said for myself. It's really like get back to work. I love it. What you're doing out here is inspiring and awesome. Also, because that takes like a lot of creativity, like cosplaying, and I love do, especially seeing my people who, like you already said, are at the, we're at the curve of everything, man, and you are here continuing to build those bridges. So we're extremely excited to meet you and like see you here today. Wyatt,
Yes, sir.
um, please do not have me to desire violence against you in the form of some type. You know how challenges can be, sir. You already know. So I mean, we might whatever fighting game you're playing, I probably suck at it, but I still would have to just take the white gloves, slap across your face, Wyatt, for calling my questions, my answers questionable. Okay.
Well, man, I'm just saying there were some of them, and we'll talk about some of them. So we're glad to have you. We got one other person that was able to make it as well. The Husky Hokage himself, one half of the Victory Road podcast presented by the Blerd Syndicate, one third of the Things People Don't Say podcast. So, Husky, how you doing, man? How you living?
I'm good, man. Hope everyone is doing good as well. Just was able to slide in time. I had to do dad and family things, cook dinner, but I'm here. You know what I'm saying? Ready to talk about these bad anime dads.
The first person that we're looking at, we're going to see whether or not he's a good dad, bad dad, in the middle, or if he just shouldn't reproduce at all. So the first one we got is Endeavor.
Ooh, all right, I'm gonna jump first. I got to jump first on that one.
Go ahead.
All right, Endeavor is a good dad. Endeavor is a good dad. What Endeavor was dealing with is psychological issues behind his desire to be number one. But if you really look at his character profile, he didn't only focus on being number one with his children. He also focused on continuing to dig in his own personal actions and things like that. I'm gonna go good father. He just needed a little bit of therapy.
Hellspawn, what you feel about that one?
I agree. I think his level of self-awareness for how he utilizes his powers or his quirk, and also his level of being able to see his wrongdoing and trying to atone one way or another. And then also, if you look at the flashbacks, he tried to save the older son by telling him, "Don't use your quirk."
Exactly.
If he didn't care about him at all, he wouldn't have.
Exactly.
He would have just let him try until he burnt himself up. That's not how he was. So yeah, I give Endeavor the flowers that he deserves, because he is the man that won't give up. He may not be capable of being number one like All Might was, but All Might, how can you follow All Might?
That is kind of tough.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's how you. But he, when he took out that Nomu and raised that hammer up, all right, man, dude, you got my respect.
Husky, what you got?
So I'm also going the same. Being a big fan of My Hero. Actually, I just got them in the other day. Got a double pack. My boy Shoto Endeavor came in the other day. I had to order. Anyway, but I am going with Endeavor is a good dad, and it took fatherhood is anybody that's on here that's a fatherhood is a journey. You go make your mistakes. You go do, you know what I'm saying. You go do what you think is best at the time. Come back and maybe your mind may change. But fatherhood is a journey. Even though he started out a little rough or whatever, especially with how he was and whatever. And I know his relationship with Shoto, with Todoroki or whatever. They, it was rocky at first, and as you've seen, as he's had to become basically the number one hero because All Might or whatever. He's been in that spotlight after defeating the Nomu and stuff like that. He's changed. Like you've seen him grow a lot. Like even so much so where I think him and the mother were in, like they were together like when the last in one of the last seasons. But he's grown a lot, man, and he's changed how he looks, how he behaves. He's a good dad. Like I said, being a dad, it's about, like, you're gonna make your mistakes. But it's always, are you willing to grow and correct your mistakes? Because, like I said, just like your kids are growing, I'm growing as a dad as well. So he's a good dad in my eyes.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think that he was perfect, and I think sometimes that's what certain people are looking for. But definitely, I feel like he tries to work at being supportive, and I think as a dad, like, and especially having a son, you want your son to do not only as good as you but better. And I think he got caught up in just the results of trying to make his son the best person that he could be. And especially if you think about the trauma of losing a child already, you know what I mean? You're going to hold on a little bit tighter than necessarily, what you had before. So I understand he put a lot of pressure on Shoto, but I think never at one point was he just, he may have been unattentive to other kids, but I think it's just him growing as a parent and understanding, with multiple kids, you got to be able to divide your time up. And, I think he felt like he was more connected to Shoto, so that's why he went and hung out with Shoto a whole lot more and trained with him.
I'll say that one saying that parents and children are born on the same day.
Ooh, that's deep. I never. Well, yeah.
That needs to be on the t-shirt.
That is
somewhere.
knowledge, facts. That's what's up.
That needs to be on the t-shirt.
That is. So, so the next one, we had this conversation on the last one. Someone said that he was a good dad. I don't necessarily agree with it. So we're gonna go ahead and put this out here.
I don't know anything about this character or this series, so I'm just gonna.
That I would have had difficulty arguing with, but run it. Y'all run it. All of y'all can go. I'm gonna go last on here. Run it.
Your father, Gene, is. Your dad? It's a huge jerk! A huge jerk!
Oh, Gene. Okay, I guess I'll go. I don't think he was a good dad because he didn't give any kind of guidance. He just said, "Hey, find me." You know what I mean? And like if you could find me, then you bought your shit. And I'm like, that's not how it works, Pop. Like, what are you doing? No, I can't. No. Right. He didn't want to be a father. He went and he would continue to be a hunter. That's his thing.
He's like, oh, my son's near here. Oh, we gotta go.
Fuck it. Like, I'm out.
Basically, that's it. Like we discussed this last time, and my same thing is there. Like, bro, you rank, like, literally anytime you heard your son was on the way to where you might have been or may be at, it was, he came. Tell him I was here. I'll be, you know what I'm saying? I'm going on to the next one. Like, it wasn't like he said, he gave him no direction, left him, never visited him. Like, he dropped, basically, this man had a baby by some random woman, because clearly we don't know who Gon's mother is, so clearly had a baby by this random woman, took the baby from the woman, now didn't leave the baby with the mom, took the baby from the woman and went and proceeded to drop it off with his sister, like, hey, I got this baby right here, I need you to take care of. and like that's it. Like that's it. No direction. We don't even know if he sent his we don't even know if he sent her any money to help take care of him. It was just, hey, this is my son. I'm gonna drop him off for you. I'm gone. Like, yeah, that was it. Like, bro, like I'm sorry. He was
My
he was a decent sperm donor, but as far as being an actual dad or father of that nature, nah.
Can we talk more later on? If you can.
Yeah, that might be kind of tough. I'm a pretty busy guy, you know.
Quit messing around, Jake! You call yourself a father?
Nah, I know where young Elder will come in at, and I know what he's gonna say. I completely disagree with your sentiments and your evidence that you're about to approve. The court does not. I don't.
He didn't teach his son nothing. He just
no.
at all. And then the way that he ended up, man. He needed some real guidance, right?
Oh, James, you want to chime in real quick?
Okay, so I don't know anything about this show. Never watched it. Never read it. From the few videos that I've watched on YouTube about this guy, he's a bad dad. like he's not even in his son's life. As far as I'm concerned, he's doing the Princess Peach nonsense from the old school Mario games. I'm not at this castle right now. You're gonna have to go to another castle to try and find me.
Oh, he did not call the Princess Peach. Oh no, you just passed this castle. Well, Bowser just took me to the next one. So, all right.
I mean, the way he's dressed, he looks like a bum. So, I mean, I don't know.
Hold on, before he goes. So I did a little research too. So I've seen Hunter x Hunter, but then like when I was putting up and editing the video, Leorio was talking to him, right? And Leorio was like, "Hey, your son is dying. You know, it would be really, really nice for you to come by, give him hope, you know, be able to chill out with him." He's like, "Oh, so you're one of my son's friends. You know, I've been getting notices about it, and like he seems like he's got a lot of friends, so he's good. I don't need to show up." And then after that, he was like, no, like really, he is on his deathbed. It would be so great if you showed up to help out and did this and just, you know, give him hope and everything like that. Then he was like, so did my son verbatim ask you to tell me to come and see him? And he's like, no, he's in a coma. He's finna die. He's like, oh, well, since my son didn't ask me, I'm not really gonna show up and see him. That was another reason where I was just like, bruh, he's not good for it.
Die, you asshole!
That was an argument. And there was two people that Hellspawn, there was two people that did say that he was a good dad.
Bro, what are you talking about, man? Bro, I'm out, man. That nigga's tripping.
It was an unpopular opinion, and to say the least. Let's see here.
I question people who have opinions like that because when they try to like manufacture.
Oh man, and you're gonna go to my character in this art about a fictional world. Let's go. It's my turn now. You had your Point number one. Okay. What was this man's job? This man was arguably the greatest hunter, which means that he had a job that on a regular basis put his life on the line. Let's start with that, okay? And as the father of this new child out in the world, he working his job, he has a child by whatever means, okay?
So you lost your...
Let's continue. I'm not done. He knows that his job puts him in danger on a regular basis, so why would he try to raise a child? You know the next best thing you can do? You can find a trusted relative to take care of your child. Point number one is recognition of, hey, you know what? I know what type of relationship that I want to have with my child in order to provide the best for them. So first off, I'm not willing to stop being a hunter, okay? I'm not willing to stop being a hunter. So guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to leave him. He didn't leave him in no alley. He didn't leave him in no dumpster. He didn't just drop him off somewhere, you know, and he had to literally get it out the mud. He took this man back to his hometown and had him raised by who is considered his sister. Let's start with that idea. So he knows his lifestyle is not going to work. As far as not giving him any guidance he gives to try to get his son who wants to, because Gone had a choice himself. He could have lived his regular life without worrying about who his dad was.
That's not true. That's not true. That's not true.
Come on. Yes,
no,
he could have.
No, wait. You've already laid out 2 points and you're not allowing no one to respond. Hold on now. All right?
I'm responding to all of the points that y'all laid out.
No.
Go ahead.
No. All right, so the second point that you're making, to the point where he, a son is going to seek out what he does not know. Jing made it clear that if he wants to know him as a father, if his son wants to know him, he's going to have to go through these different avenues in order to figure out who I am, as opposed to being there to tell him who he is. Right?
Okay. Because
he made the choice that he didn't want to be a father. He made the choice he wanted to be a hunter, which is something you said.
Right.
You also said that if he knows the kind of relationship he wants to have with his son, which is none, then he's going to make that the best possible decision for him. I'm going to drop this kid off to somebody that I know, as opposed to an orphanage, as if that was Asta's parents or some shit like that. You know what I mean? So I everything that you've already said is a manufactured reason as to why he's actually not a good father at all.
How is that? So you mean to tell me it would have been better for him to just leave his son at an orphanage?
It would have been better for him to take care of his kid.
But if he's working a job that is not safe for a kid to be, hey, I'm not willing to give up this job. Like you can.
That's two separate things. That's two separate things. You just said that he has a job that's not safe, and then you just also said that he's not willing to give up that job. Which is it? One or the other? Then you know what? That means he's choosing to not be a father.
Right.
Right. So if a man creates a child and he's choosing to not be that child's father, how can you consider him being a good father?
Because he still provided the opportunity where if his son wanted to have that type of relationship with him, the first thing that he's got to do is he's got to be able to enter the world in which his father was not willing to give up in order to say, hey, I'm not going to be a dad.
Every opportunity possible, he ran from his son. Again, proof that he's not a good father.
I don't know, man. I think that whole idea
am I reading your name right? You have 4 children?
4 children. But this is a choice
I'm to assume that you decided to stay to be a father to your 4
children.
Correct. All right, correct. So that automatically puts you above Jing because you decided to be there and didn't run from your kids.
All right, I guess for me, it's the fact of he still provided the opportunity for his son.
No, he didn't. His son didn't. No, he didn't. What did he provide? His genes.
I got it right here. So, like, Gene's idea was like, it's the journey, it's not the destination. So
exactly.
But no, I'm not agreeing with you. Don't but everybody else has an opportunity to learn, because now it makes it that much harder for Gone, because not only does he have to do this whole distance thing, but now he has to then find out who he is after he finds out who his dad is and things like that. So it doesn't help Gone.
You don't think he knew who he was while he was doing that?
Here we go. Gohan got arrogant as fuck when he got Super Saiyan 2, right?
Okay.
And he allowed Cell to basically fucking break his arm and all that stuff, right? And yet Goku was there and everyone else was there to calm his mind and let him know that he could do it, right? He could send that Kamehameha wave out to him and basically beat him, right? His dad was there, even though he was dead. His dad was there. Gone's ass uses all of his fucking nin, you know, because he didn't know how to emotionally handle what was going on when P2 killed, you know, homeboy.
I don't know if it was not knowing how to
no,
emotionally handle it, or if it was just the understanding of the only way that I'm going to be able to defeat this creature is by putting my entire life on the line.
No.
On Hunter x Hunter, he was like, because he was cool, because he was fighting him, and then after that, he saw that he was just playing with Kite, and he couldn't really bring her back. So then once that finite detail of like that mentor not being able to be there, not being able to have him anymore, like broke him, and he lost it. He snapped it because he hadn't had that opportunity to have a mentor.
And you can't say if his father was there at any time to help guide him, he wouldn't have been so emotionally fragile to lose all of his nin over Kite. Whereas in the anime, it's we're like, this nigga only knew him for like two weeks. Why is he so like over him? Why is he so like, you know, whatever? But in the manga, they spent some time together, you know. Okay. But then I'm just saying, if his father was really there and he set up the world for his son wouldn't have made a move that would have reset him back to zero and have to basically relearn how to use nin. You know, so you can't tell me, especially when you compare that against Gohan, who was the most powerful Z fighter at one point in time. And
he was supposed to be the most powerful in the whole.
He was, but yet when he did have that hubris, his dad calmed him the fuck down.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so you can't
say
that.
So you're gonna go with the emotional fragility. You're gonna go with the emotional fragility of Gon being the reason why Jing was not a bad father.
Listen,
that
was the logical conclusion. That was the logical and illogical conclusion to Gon's character. You know, because once he lost his nin, you know, it took some retconning. It took some retconning just to bring him back.
All right. So to be fair, Kite, when you throw the whole Kite issue in there, I can see Gon losing it like that because he looked at Kite more so as a father figure than Jing, with Kite being more of like a surrogate because he hasn't found Jing yet. Considering that Kite had a relationship with Jing and he looked at it as someone who, you know, okay, this can get me a step closer.
That was his connection to his dad.
Exactly.
That was his connection to his dad. So if that person's dead, he's lost that connection to his father.
That connection, I can see that.
One way you can like have like a real life connection to it is that your first friends are your siblings, right? So if you have sibling rivalry in a certain way, if you don't have a good relationship with your siblings, it's going to be really difficult on some level to form friendships. You know what I'm saying? Because how were you taught to relate to people when you were young? You know what I mean? So if you apply that same logic to Gon's ability to find a mentor, latch onto him, and then no longer have them when he didn't have one at all. You know what I mean? He was out there running wild in the woods. You know, before
that was like his first like major loss when you really
you know?
All right. I can see that. See, I was looking at it more from the standpoint of understanding what the was, his job as a hunter, and the idea of, hey, this is what I want to do. I'm not going to stop doing it. But, hey, along the way, if my son decides he want to find out who I am, he's still going to have to, like, really be about something in order to do it. One of the things you said that you're going to bring up earlier is about belief in your children. Even in the situation where everyone was trying to tell him, oh, you should go see your son. I mean, when you really think about it, that would have been, you know, kind of false and blasé, but he still had belief in his son, in which he said, hey, my son's not going to die. I know he's not going to die. Okay, so he did believe in his son. The other thing is,
how did his son know that? How did his son know that?
So here's all right, we're gonna cut it out here because we still got like 3 or 4 other ones that we're gonna do. But
all right,
that was a really good conversation. There's one, if anybody disagrees with this person being a bad dad, we're gonna really have a conversation.
I just like to stir the pot most of the time, man.
I know you do. I know. You just try to start shit. You with the BS, and I love it.
Why should be homeboy for Full Metal Alchemist?
Oh, there's no way I can argue that. Zero.
The epitome of
worst
my homework is due tomorrow. And I'm gonna throw some shit together.
Oh my gosh. Oh no.
So
nah.
So who believes that this man, if anybody, is a good father? No.
Oh no. There's only one person I know that could possibly argue that, and they're not here.
I'm not touching that.
Yeah. Nah. We can go ahead and unanimously just say that Tucker is a horrible dad.
Mm-hmm.
Just. I'm getting bad memories from that episode. They're flooding in. Thanks, Wyatt.
Honestly, that whole manga and anime really didn't hit for me. I was bored for all of maybe 2 to 3 episodes. I fuck with Mustang. I fuck with Ward Mustang. Like, do your thing, homie. And then that episode with the dad and shit. But other than that series is very forgettable for me.
Oh man. Well, hopefully this isn't forgivable for you. The Blerd Syndicate has the shirt right there for you. And so you can go to theblerdsyndicate.com. Fusion High. That's what I like to call it.
You ought to be ashamed of yourself.
Go get your shirt.
And so you can just just put with the BS as a promo code, get 20% off. So that is my shameless plug of the evening. Theblerdsyndicate.com. Go ahead. I know it's bad, but it's funny at the same time. So y'all go ahead and get that shirt.
Too soon.
So what about? All right, we talked about this a little bit before we started, and I'm going to play devil's advocate on this one because Hailspawn brought up some good points, but Goku, as a father, I don't think he was a great father. I didn't think that he was a great father, simply because he wasn't around a lot. And he, I know he did stuff for his sons, but, first of all, I wanted to know how Goten came to be, because, he wasn't there long enough to really be able to, well, he had some training apparently with Chi-Chi, think about it. And so that one day he came back, he just was like, I'm gonna knock it out and then be on my way.
That was the day that he fought Majin Vegeta, right?
Yes.
Yeah, all it takes is literally 5 minutes, but
Yeah, he instant transmission, came over to Chi-Chi, knocked it out, and then after that was like, all right, let me go ahead and do this training. Yeah. So that's so because I was like, man, when did they get that baby? Like, how did that happen?
We got power, baby.
Exactly. So but that was my thought about it. Hellspawn I had the whole thing. Hellspawn was gonna be after he gets done. He has a lot of stuff that I was like, okay, it made me think about it. So who has something? All right. So
can I say something about that?
Yes, sir.
Sure.
I heard some of what he said too, and he had some very good arguments to it. I'll let him say what those are, but you got to break down to me the sensu bean thing. Not just Piccolo raising him. Break down the cell, because that's what you brought up in other arguments. So break that down for me and help me.
That is a good point. The sensu being let me go ahead, if I'm not gonna beat you, let me go ahead and throw Cell this sensu bean so he's all back to good.
I could see the reasoning behind that.
Okay. All right. I want to hear this one.
People that come up with ideas and reasons behind things like that, kind of makes me question them a little bit.
Okay.
You have no room to talk after you just
right. No bullshit. No bullshit. So this is the thing, right? You would talk about like a father believing in his son, right? He was in the room of Spirit of Time with Gohan for what, a year and some change, right? Now, if we're talking about the confidence of this boy, you know, this boy, and in the direction that the manga was supposed to go, or the anime was supposed to go, where he was going to be the lead fighter for the Z Fighters after Goku dies, right? So if you're trying to instill confidence, in the new strongest fighter of the Z Fighters, and he still has some time to grow, then you can't have him fight a handicapped fighter. That's not the way the Saiyans work. That's not the way any of these fighters work. I've actually been going back and watching Dragon Ball with my son, and seeing how Montenarushi actually really raised them, and in their fighting skills and whatnot, they were always evenly matched until someone's skills started to go a little bit further than the others. But it was always they were on an even playing field, right? So if you go to Goku's mentality of instilling confidence in his son and what he knows to be an even playing field of fighting someone of equal measure, then he's going to put Gohan against Cell at Cell's strongest point. Because no Saiyan wants to fight somebody that was halfway beaten and then win, and then it'd be called the winner. Like, that's bullshit.
Interesting.
You know?
Interesting.
Saiyan pride.
Dragon Ball Z world, how a father would want to have his child to compete against the best in order to instill confidence with him. But can't understand how a father in a world of hunters would have his son do the exact same thing.
No, because
can I add one point?
Who wasn't present?
Say that again.
Can I add one point?
Go ahead.
Okay, so going at this from a logical standpoint, Goku is more of a martial artist than he is a father. Yes, he's been around his children for a really long time.
Thank you.
And everything like that, but like Goku already knew to some extent that Gohan was the one that he could depend on at that point in time. And then the only way to bring that out of Gohan was to put him in danger. So to Hellspawn's point, if Gohan would have fought Cell in a weakened state, he never would have reached that potential to be the strongest.
That he's a good fight teacher, not a good father necessarily. That, like you said, martial arts.
No, because again,
come on, man, you're talking about it.
You gotta let me finish. You gotta let my train of thought finish before you derail it and blow it up and send it off into the ocean, just so it won't. To that degree, I would say that Goku is a good father. He's because of the year that he spent with his son, he was able to understand to some degree what Gohan needed to push him further, because Gohan didn't want to fight. And you see that during the fight and everything, Gohan is holding back, and Goku's wanting him to, take care of business, do all this stuff. And Gohan's not wanting to do it. And it took 16 dying for Gohan to realize, I can't keep being a pacifist about this and everything. So even when everybody else was saying, Gohan doesn't like fighting, Goku had enough wherewithal to put his son in the right situation to, I don't know how to word it. He put his son in the right place at the right time to hit the maximum result. If Goku hadn't spent that time with Gohan wouldn't have been in that position to have that opportunity to become that thing. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it makes sense. If you think about that flashback, when Gohan's hair was still black and very long, and he had that lightning like crackling around him, Goku knew. He knew that that he had the potential for a Super Saiyan to go beyond the Super Saiyan. I keep saying Saiyan, but I like to say Saiyajin, but people don't like me to say Saiyajin because they're not used to it. But anyways, no. And to your point, young elder, you lose the argument when you try to compare Jing to Goku because Goku was there.
So time is the argument for
no time, presence, training. Like you can't. He didn't run from his kid.
All right.
You buy while you were there.
So if you say so.
The point of time being like you look at like Goku being like in the times Goku was a lot of times Goku wasn't there. It was because he was dead. You know what I'm saying, or something like that. Like Goku. I don't look at Goku as I'm gonna say this. I don't look at Goku as a great or a good father. I think he had good moments, like as a dad. But like in Z, especially in Z, he had some good moments as a dad. I think he's an okay father. Now, if you talk about Goku now in Super, Goku ain't like. If you talk about Goku now, present day Goku, Dragon Ball Super, Goku just you can't even look at him as a dad because what he had. I don't think he's seen Goten like. I know he ain't seen Goten. Like I know that Goten spent most of his time at the facility with Trunks. Like literally, I don't think he's seen Goten. He spent most of the time training with Whis and Beerus and trying to get stronger, or whatever the case may be. So it's like I said.
So you weren't here for what I was reading earlier, but I do have a meme that just happened to save. Because they were. The top photo is Piccolo, and the bottom photo is Gohan and Goku. And the top photo says, "Train Gohan one time, considered to be his father." That's for Piccolo.
Yeah.
Goku died saving his son twice. Was going to face Raditz alone and injured before his friends stopped him, and Piccolo showed up to get his sons back. Trained his son twice and helped him become a Super Saiyan. Tried saving his son from a waterfall in the first episode. Already doing a whole lot better than Ging. Took Cooler's death beam in the back for his son. Broke the rules of death to save his son from Bojack. Saved his son from having his head crushed by Nappa. Saved his son from being killed by the Ginyu Force. Saved his son from being killed by Frieza, met his second son and showed him love and affection, told his second son that he's proud of him and held him before he had to leave Earth. Saved his son from being killed by Super Buu, let his son focus on his career and family, doesn't force him to fight like him. Saved his son and Vegeta's son from a purple goo that stole Vegeta's body, beat down Zamasu and Black for killing his wife and son, believes in his sons when no one else ever does, and helps his sons get stronger so they can one day protect themselves without him, and yet he's still considered to be a bad father.
Those are those are good points. But like I said, on my own thing, like I said, and I'm not disputing what you're saying. It's just that, like, in Z, I do believe Goku was a good father. It's like I said, now I don't see so much now because he's more so training. But I get those are some very valid points that you bring up. But I still say, as we talking about just Super, he's an okay father. I'm gonna say he's a bad father. Like a lot of stuff you brought up, because a lot of stuff you bring up in that from that meme, I don't really, I never really thought about as far as like a lot of the things that you're saying. Like he did show up. Yeah, you forget about those moments.
Some of the shit's in the movies. People don't think the movies are canon, but it's still happening. It was still him doing the thing.
Yeah. And those are very valid points, and those hit on some really good things. But like I said, I don't see Goku as a bad father. So I think he could do more, but all overall, he's not a bad father.
I think the part that, like I said, I didn't think about all the stuff that he did, you know what I mean? And especially when you think about like him and like the Frieza saga and things like that. Like the way he came through, a couple times. And I think sometimes it's overshadowed by the fact that like no matter what, Piccolo is always putting his life on the line for Gohan, because there's at least been like one or two times where he got blown up, he got shot up. You know what I mean? And I think lost limbs, all the rest of that good stuff. But his dad does the same thing. And I think like what you're saying now with Super, like they made him just really more oriented on fighting, and I think he was well balanced. He was more well balanced in Z, where what I mean. He was taking Gohan everywhere that he was going. You know what I mean. He was training him not only to defend himself. And then the other point that you made, Hellspawn, was like that I really got down with was when it came to the sensu bean. You know what I mean? If Gohan was a kid that didn't have any kind of confidence in himself. So if he felt like he just beat him because he was already weak, because dad already weakened him up and softened him up, then he would be like, oh man, I need my dad to still help me to fight these people because I've never fought someone and taken care of them myself. You know what I mean? And so that even though it was crazy for him to do, you know what I mean? This was a way for him to show that, hey, this is you. Like, he's back to full strength. You're full strength. You took him out from there. Because even when 16 died, he still was holding back. Because, like, remember at the end, at the final wave, he was just like, hey, you still got energy over here, and we finna die, and I need you to push everything out. And so it was really good that that he did kind of push him and did try to show him that he had strength that he didn't know he had. I wouldn't recommend just putting my son up against fights all the time, but you know what I'm saying? In that world, I mean, you got to get it how you live. So I got like two more. Well, I got more, but we're gonna just stop at two more. So is cool. So the one other one is
Risha?
Yeah. Is he a good dad? Is he a bad dad? There was another conversation where somebody said that he was a good dad.
I think he was a victim of circumstance.
I think so. I think he had the right intentions of trying to make sure that his people were free or protected in a certain way. I don't agree how he went about it. You know what I mean? But
can we say that his actions were his own and not pushed by Eren?
I don't know. Yeah, because like watching the last part of the, you know what I mean? I don't know.
To me, it seemed like he was a victim. It seemed like he didn't want to do, but Eren made him do it. I can kind of, from where I haven't even finished it yet, but I've gotten to a point where it's like, who's really running the show?
Right. You know?
He was a shitty dad to Zeke, though. He wasn't really good to Zeke at certain points.
I forgot that he was even Zeke's dad.
I haven't seen AOT in a minute, so I've been because it's been 9 years. This is last season, and I'm like, I'll just wait till they finish it. I'll go watch it. I'm like, I'm not about to sit up and keep playing with y'all for y'all to leave me on a cliffhanger. And this is the last season, part 2. We'll come back to last season, part 3. I'm done with that.
All right, so I'm gonna open the floor to you guys. Quick, short rounds. Who do you think, do you have any other people that I forgot about that are bad anime dads?
The dad from Ranking of Kings.
Yes, his ass was horrible. Yes, I agree.
Terrible father.
I can agree with that.
Now that's a child that rose, that stepped up to adversity. You know, if you want to look at the difference between Gon.
Oh man, bro, you can't say it. Because then you can say Gon did the exact same thing.
No, because Gon was given the genes to do what he was able to do, whereas old boy had everything taken from him, and he was
everything. Everything revolves around everything. Every argument that you can make revolves around, to me, the understanding of the world that you're living in for whatever it is that you're talking about. Because in Dragon Ball Z, the world is around creating strong martial artists, which means that you have to have the teacher there to guide you and put your hand, here, this is how you move, this is how you do it. In Ranking of Kings, he did step up to adversity because in his world, his father had the ability to steal from his son, which is what makes him a bad dad. And then the boy rose to adversity. Gon still rose to adversity too, considering that he had a dad that was I don't want to be in a relationship with you.
Gon had multiple teachers to teach him how to use Nin, and none of them were his dad.
Didn't he have exactly? Who taught? Did old boy from Ranking of Kings dad teach him?
No, but see, it's the thing. No,
they're both bad dads here.
And then Gon had
I think it's the difference in the world.
Gon had a natural ability to be an enhancer, whereas old boy was deaf. I mean, not deaf. Was he deaf? Yeah,
he was deaf. He was the deaf and mute.
Yeah, deaf and mute. You know what I'm saying? Because his dad took his shit from him. Whereas, there is no comparison. I'm just trying to tell you. When you try to say
the dad from being a bad dad, but I'm saying that in the world of Hunter x Hunter,
see, you can't do that.
That dude is not a bad dad.
You really just stuck on us saying Gene is a bad dad, huh?
Great. Now I've got you recorded saying it. I got everything that I need.
You can't. You can't keep saying that, because then after that it's just like, okay, the rules change, but the qualities of a good parent, of a good father, still stay the same no matter what world you're in, no matter what you're in. You know what
nah, man, because how could he legit be the best hunter if he can't hunt the best hunter?
But being a hunter and being a father are different things.
Being the best hunter and being the best dad are two different things. Like, that doesn't have anything to do with each other.
I'm the worst, Gene!
You should apologize to Gon! Promise him you'll be more like a father from now on!
You don't even have the right to be his father!
There's no correlation.
If you want a relationship with me, this is the life I live.
Die, you asshole!
So you got to rise to the occasion.
That's shitty. That's like Tyson saying, if you want to get close to me, then you got to get your ass beat by Vanda's kid and all these other people, so that you can step to me in the ring.
And while you getting beat up, I'm gonna throw them a sensu bean so that they can, fight at their best and pull the best out of you. I get it, because what's the difference in. What's the difference in Gene telling Razor, hey, one day my son is going to come looking for me, and I'm going to need you to fight at your best in order to fight against my son so that my son can get stronger. I'm talking about, it goes to the world, man.
He just spent a whole year training with his son, one-on-one basis. When's the last time Gon spent any time with Gene like that?
When he climbed the world tree, when he was relearning his Nin.
That wasn't a whole year, but that was after he almost died. You know what I'm saying? With Jen had already, and Gon had already known, didn't know his dad, so he was almost on his deathbed. So it's a
this dude's dad lived in the same house with him though.
Okay, all right. Anybody else got any last ones? Because I know
I got two. So I don't know if anybody has watched it. Dororo, the dad in Dororo. Yeah. So basically, the dad prayed for, I think his wife was pregnant with him, but he asked for for his lands to be taken care of, whatever.
I got you. So he was a feudal lord. He asked for his land to be taken care of, but in order to do that, he made a deal with the devil. So the devil
something like that
took all his organs type thing. So that was skin, bone. So anything, you remember the oblongs? He was kind of like an oblong for a little bit.
Basically, he was born he was basically just born with bones. He was still alive, but he was just basically like a shell or whatever.
His dad was pretty shitty on that one. What was your next one?
Next one, easy. He was never there. Ash's dad. Don't know who the fuck Ash's dad is. Bad dad.
Listen, I believe
we don't know if he's dead. We don't know where he went.
Nothing.
It's just not included.
His dad didn't even leave him no clues and then to find him. That's crazy.
Pokemon cultivates a fan base that are slave apologists. So
I told you. I said the same shit, bro. We had a.
Don't start this. Don't start.
just-
No. Don't
I'm just
start
no,
this.
we're not gonna start it. Just saying, if you have to consider a Pokemon trainer who goes around and knocks people that are just living their lives upside the head and saying you're going to work for me now, versus a Digimon where you have to be chosen to be a champion.
That's why I fuck with you, bro. Because I'm a two.
I'm so glad that not only my stuff is getting pooped on now.
So
It's see what they want. Still, Pokemon is still the better brand.
Anime dads.
Did I have any? Well, I mean, I'm a JoJo fan, so I can't help but to thank Dio and
Bro,
and even Jonathan Jonathan. Yeah, old man Joestar. Yeah, they were kind of like absentee fathers. Yeah, all day. I really can't think of anything else at this point. But
if you get a chance to, and anybody who's listening, there's somebody that was in our TV dads one, our good TV dads one. He said that Dio was a good dad too. So it is crazy, bro. I'm telling you, we had this whole conversation. We can go ahead and close this on out. So I want you to be like the Hulk. I want you to smash that follow button, like us, subscribe, all that good stuff, and we're gonna love you 3000. But until then, we're gonna be like the Ninja Turtles and get the shell out of here. So be easy, and y'all have a great day.